Hi there and welcome to our tutorial video where I'll be showing you how to use our 50-30-20 budget spreadsheet in Google Sheets. Let's get into it. Let's start at the top left corner of our budget spreadsheet and change our currency. If your currency symbol is not a dollar sign, just click on the drop down arrow and choose your currency, and the whole spreadsheet will update. And next, if you have money left from your previous budget, you will add it here as rollover, like so, and you press on enter, and the spreadsheet will update. And if this is your new budget, you can just leave it on 0. And next, we have a start date. A start date can be any day. So let's say you're getting paid on the 1st of the month. This will be your start date. And your end date will be the day before your next payday. For this tutorial, I will use the 1st of October as my start date, and my end date will be the 30th of October, which is the day before my next payday. However, you can start at any date and end at any date. And next, we have our amount left to spend and amount left to budget section. You don't have to edit this section here. The spreadsheet will do the calculations for you. Before we continue, please note that this budget spreadsheet will come with 5 tabs: your instructions tab, budget example tab, the empty budget tab, and we have a savings tracker and our calendar. Our budget example tab will have the notes you need to set up your budget. And when you start budgeting, you will start on this tab here. It will also have pre-populated subcategories. So what you can do is to leave the ones you're going to use and delete the ones that will not be applicable to you. And we have a cash flow section. You also don't have to edit this section over here. All calculations are automated. And we have a percentage breakdown section where you can adjust your percentages. We will come back to this section when we start tracking our income and expenses. After you're done setting up your currency and dates, what you will want to do is to create your subcategories for income, fixed expenses, variable expenses, and future. Under the income section, you will list all your sources of income, like your salary, side hustle, interest income. Let's add one more. Let's say rent income. You will list them like so. And we have a pay date section. This section is optional. And if you want to use it, you can double click on the cell and choose your pay date like so. Or you can type in your pay date like so, month dash day, month dash day, like so. And under our budget section here, you will enter the money you expect to receive on this date here. This is the money you are sure that you're going to receive. You will enter it here like so. Press on enter and side hustle. And this is the money you are sure you're going to receive on payday. And when you check our amount left to budget over here, you will notice that this section has now updated and we now have an amount left to budget. And this is the amount we're going to use for our budget estimates. Remember, fixed expenses are the bills that stays the same every month, so you don't have to worry about guessing how much they're going to be because you know that they're the same amount. You will list them all in here under subcategories for fixed expenses. Let's add one more. And this is how you will add your subcategories for fixed expenses. And if they have due dates, you can just type in the due date under our due date column, like so. And this is how you'll enter their due dates. And under our budget column here, you will list the amount you're planning to pay for each subcategory. Please note that I'm using estimated amounts. And this is how you will fill in your budgeted amounts for fixed expenses. And next, you will want to create subcategories for variable expenses. Variable expenses are the costs that differ every month. You will list all your variable expenses here. Let's add one more example, utilities. You can track them like this or separately as water and electricity like so. And if you have due date, you will type the date here. And if you don't know where to start when it comes to budgeting for variable expenses, you can check your previous bank statements and see how you have been spending. And then you can have a clue on how much you can budget for variable expenses. For this tutorial, I will just use estimated amounts. And from there, you will want to create subcategories for your future, like emergency fund. In this section here, you can list your emergency fund, investments, and extra debt payments, like so. And if you're saving for Christmas, if you're saving for a new car, if you're investing, and extra debt payment, let's say for student loan. And if you have credit cards that you have to pay for, like so. This is how you can use this section. And when you're done, you can just type in the due date. And under our budget column here, you can fill in the amounts you're planning to save, invest, or pay. And you will type in your amounts like so. And whilst you are busy budgeting, don't forget to keep on checking your amount left to budget here. You can see now that my amount is getting lower. I just have to make sure that I still have the money that will cover me for the rest of the month. So looking at this amount, I still have 21 days left to my next payday. I just have to focus on the most important expenses. So before I continue, maybe I'll just have to rethink on buying coffee and this one. And I will only do this if there's no extra income that I'm expecting, because this is the only income that I'll be expecting and there's no any other income after this. So if you find yourself in this kind of situation, this is how you can treat your budget. You can color your cells like so for your attention. You can just use any color. And you know that you have marked these for your attention. If canceling subscriptions is not one of your options, you can increase your income here. You can just increase your income. Think of the ways you can increase your income. Then you can see that if you can add 500 more on your income, you won't have to cancel any of your subscriptions here. That's one of the ways you can adjust your budget. For this tutorial, I will leave it like this. I'll only save for emergency fund and I will leave the rest. And if you feel like the rows are too long and you don't have a lot of subcategories to add, you can reduce the number of rows by highlighting on the cells here on the side, like so. Right click and hide rows. Click on OK. And this is how you can make your budget more compact. And especially if you're working on an iPad or phone, it will be easier for you to work on your budget template. And after you have created your subcategories, filled in your due dates and budgeted amounts, and you have received your income, you can start tracking your actual expenses. Under our income section here, you can track your actual amounts. You can type it in like so. Press on enter. And let's say you receive all your income in one day. You will check them all like so. And you will notice that your totals will be updated. And when we check at the top right corner of our budget spreadsheet, our calculator has also updated and divided your total after tax income using the 50-30-20 rule. And your goal amounts for the month are the ones next to each category. You will use these amounts as your target amounts when you want to follow the 50-30-20 budgeting method. And if you feel like these percentages are too low for you, that's when you can adjust your percentages over here. Maybe you would prefer 60-20-20. And please note that this is the only section that you can edit under our percentage breakdown over here. And you won't be able to adjust your percentages on our calculator here, because it contains formulas for the other sections in the budget template. And if you would like to purchase a spreadsheet like this one with a 60-20-20 calculator or 70-20-10 calculator, you can keep on checking on my shop. They'll be available soon. And the only section that you can change on our calculator here is the quote of the day section. And you can type your quote or the affirmation of the day. And when it comes to tracking your fixed expenses, variable expenses, and future, we will use our transaction tracker over here. And to start tracking, you will double click on the date cell here and choose your date, or you can type in your date, month-day, like so. And your category will be fixed expenses, and your subcategory will be rent or mortgage, and the amount paid. Press on enter, and you will see that it will be added under fixed expenses, rent. And you can choose the account which was used. This section is optional over here. And let's say on the same day again, you paid for some insurance. You will choose your category, fixed expenses as your category. And under fixed expenses, you paid for the home insurance. And you paid for $100. And you can choose the account that was used. And you will continue tracking like this. Let's add two more for variable expenses. You will double click on the cell here or type in your date. Choose your date, and our category is variable expenses. And we bought some groceries and we paid $300. and the account which was used, which is optional. And let's say again on the second, we did some personal care, variable expenses, and personal care, and we paid, let's say, $80. And let's say again on the second, under our variable expenses here, we bought again some groceries for $100. And let's say we did another transaction again and bought some groceries later in the day, groceries there, and we spent $50. And you will notice that our transactions for that day, these three transactions over here, have been added together and auto-populated under our actual column, groceries section, in the variable expenses table. And that's how our transaction tracker will work for each category except for the income category. And let's add one more example for our future here. On the second, you save some money and your category will be future and your subcategory will be emergency fund and the amount saved, and press on enter and it will update. And that's how our budget spreadsheet will work in Google Sheets. One of the things that you must try to avoid is to duplicate a subcategory like so. We already have a subcategory for groceries here. And if you create another subcategory for groceries, it will duplicate the amount, and this is one of the things we don't want. And when you have spent above your budgeted amount, the cells will be highlighted like so. Let's say we spent 600 here, to make you aware that you are now over budget by $250. So this is how you will know when you are over budget. When you see a cell highlighted like so, you will know that you are over budget. Let's do one more for fixed expenses. Let's say for rent or mortgage, we spent more, $2,000. And you will see that the cell will be highlighted to let you know that you are over budget. And if it ever happens that you spend more than your goal percentages here, your actual percentages will be highlighted in red. Let's say we spent more on variable expenses, and your percentage amount will be highlighted in red over here to let you know that you are above your goal. And it will do the same for fixed expenses. And then it will be up to you if you want to adjust your percentages over here or you want to cut back on some expenses. And when we look at our budget versus the actual chart, the numbers at the bottom over here, they represent the amounts, and the green bar over here is for budgeted amount, and the melon color is for actual amounts. And when your total income bars are longer than your expenses bars, it means you're still within your budget. If it ever happens that one of the bars over here are longer than your total income, it will mean that you are above your budget, like so. You will see that our bar for actual amounts under fixed expenses is longer than the total income, which means that we are now over budget on our fixed expenses. And when you check under your fixed expenses section, you will see by how much. And when you scroll down on our budget spreadsheet, on the right side of the transaction tracker, you will notice that we have our expenses breakdown chart that will show all the expenses from largest to smallest. So far, you can see that our rent has the highest amount and the percentage over here. And when you scroll further down, you will see a section for financial goals. This is where you will list all your short-term and long-term financial goals here. And you can check them off when completed or done. And you can review your month here, and we also have a space for some notes. And on this budget template here, you can only edit the areas that have the white background. If it has a colored background like this one, you don't have to edit because it contains some formulas. If a background is colored, it means it contains formulas. Like so, if you try to edit here, it will show this message over here, which means it contains a formula, and if you continue, you will mess up the formula and your spreadsheet will not work properly. You can click on cancel, and you can only work on the white background so that the spreadsheet will function the way it should. And if you want to prepare a new budget or a budget for the next month, you can right click on the budget tab over here, click on duplicate. The spreadsheet will generate a copy for you. Double click on the copy and rename it to the month you want to budget for. Like so. And if you feel like you're going to need some of the cells that are hidden, you can just click on the black arrow here and it will drop down and you will have access to all the cells that were hidden. And if you want to hide them, you do the same thing. And to remove the colored cells, you can press on Control or Command, select the cells that you colored, click on the Fill Color bucket, and click on Reset. And it will go back to the original color. And you can just remove the old information, like so. And you can start preparing your budget for the new month. You can use the check boxes to mark the expenses that are paid and leave that are not paid, like so. Then you know that this was paid for, and this was not paid. And this is how you can use your check boxes. Money received and money not received, you can leave it and you can leave it empty. And if you have bought your groceries, and this is how you can use your check boxes. And we have a savings tracker to help you track your savings. You can list all your saving goals over here, your long-term and short-term savings. You can list them all here. Let's add 3 more. Let's say we also want to save for Christmas, and we want to save for vacation, and a new car. And after listing your saving goal over here, you will type in your goal amount. How much would you like to save for this goal? Christmas is just around the corner and I want to quickly save for Christmas. Let's say I want to quickly save $1,000 for Christmas, and I also want to go on a vacation, and I'm not in a hurry for a new car, so this is how much I will need. And for our next section, do I have a start amount or not? Have I saved something already for this goal? No, 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 everything is zero except for emergency fund. I only have $200 for that. So this is how you will list your starting amounts. And a start date, let's say I started in October. And for start date, emergency fund, we started in October. Education, let's say for Christmas, I also want to start this month. And vacation this month. And for a new car, I just want to start November. And my goal date will be like my end date. When do I want to finish with this goal? Well, for Christmas, I want to be having this money by the end of November. And for my vacation, I want to also end of November. And for my car, it doesn't matter. It can be next year, December, like so. And you will notice that from this section here, all the cells are highlighted, which means you don't have to edit. The spreadsheet will do the calculations for you. And you will see that for my estimated months, I have 3 months to budget for my emergency fund, 9 months for my education, 2 months for my Christmas, and 2 months for my vacation, 14 months and 0 days for my new car. And under estimated monthly savings, this is the amount I should be saving if I want to complete my goal in 3 months. And the saved amount is the amount that I have saved so far. So this column will be updated every time you track your savings. For this month, we have already tracked for emergency fund and education. Let's add for Christmas and vacation so that you can see how the spreadsheet works. You will double click on the date cell here and choose your date. Let's say on the 1st of October. I also saved some money for my Christmas day. Choose Christmas, and it was a deposit. And on the 5th of October, I saved some money again, and I saved for a vacation for holidays. And this is how you can use our savings tracker. And when you scroll up, you will notice that our progress bar has updated, and it will show the amount left to save, your progress, the percentage, and the amount saved so far. And when you check on the top left corner of our template, there's a section where you can change your currency. You can click on the drop down arrow and choose your currency, and the template will update. And this is where you can change your currency. Even though it's highlighted, you can edit this section, only this section here. You don't have to edit this section over here or the rest of the other sections at the top of the template here. And this is today's date. You don't have to edit this section here and the rest of the sections here. And the months left until all goals are done, it means that it will take 14 months and 0 days for all 5 goals to be completed. And our next goal to be completed is our Christmas goal. On the 30th of, it will choose the first one. Christmas and vacation are sharing the same date, and it will choose the first one, which is Christmas, and our completion date. That's how our saving tracker works, and you can use it until all your goals are completed. And next we have our calendar tab. And to change our calendar to the following month, you can type in the month number here next to month. October is month number 10. Type in 10 here, press on enter, and the calendar will update. And you can use this calendar to plan and organize your month. You can use it like so. And you can fill it with all the important tasks that you don't want to forget. And when you are done, you can mark them off like so, as done. And they will be crossed off like so. And when it comes to our budget template over here, you can use it as a single person, couple, student, or family. I will leave a link for purchase in the description below. And if you have any questions or concern, please contact me via Etsy, or you can visit my website www.255designs.com and leave a message for me and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this video, and if you did, please like and share, and I will see you in the next one.